Inns, they're keepers, and macabre marketing.
Mikhail Kushelevich of Vilnius was a clever man. He opened a tavern, brewed up some beer, and waited for people to come and drink it. But wouldn't you know it, no one showed up. So Mikhail decided to launch a marketing project. He gave his servant 1 thaler and told him to go down to the city gallows, cut off the fingers of a hanged prisoner, and bring them back to him. You see, one Baroque-era marketing expert had proposed just such a fantastic idea to him. Look, when they hang criminals in the square, it draws crowds of people, right? Mikhail was intrigued. So, if you have something from the gallows at your tavern, then people will come there too, right? When the servant finally brought him the amputated fingers, Mikhail dragged them around a beer barrel for quite a long time, but no guests appeared on that particular day or even 1 week later. Mikhail eventually tossed the fingers away and decided it was better to hang up a sign and decorate the doors and windows. Mikhail owned one of at least 50 taverns in Old Vilnius. 400 years ago, they were identified in Polish as szynkas, or karczmas, and they were the truest of communication centers where people would gather and share news with each other. Business contracts were also sometimes concluded in such taverns. A typical szynka back then usually only occupied a single room, outfitted with wooden walls, a green-tiled furnace, and several massive tables with benches. And of course, at least one szynkarka, or what Lithuanians would call pilstytoja, or innkeeper, and what we today would refer to as a server or bartender. The word szynkarka was also used to refer to the wives of tavern owners or women who kept their own pubs. Szynkarkas also made sure to keep a proper supply of food and drink. In Old Lithuania, beer was practically considered an essential necessity, so most innkeepers knew how to brew ale. They also knew how to distill vodka, make mead, and create basic dishes usually centered around meat. Innkeepers also oversaw women hired to serve guests. Much like today, some employees couldn't resist the temptation to steal something from their employer. The thieves would flee, or, in the case of more aggressive ones, beat up their mistress before running away. Tavern drinkers, heated up from all their communicating, would also often engage in fisticuffs. Sometimes it was enough to just demonstrate one's physical prowess, but other times such fights would lead to broken tables and shattered windows. On more than one occasion, fights would end in ale drinkers getting shot or otherwise killed. One time, the guests at a particular tavern in Užupis got so heated up, they broke all the windows, chased away all the other guests as well as the owner, beating up the man's wife on their way out. Innkeepers also got their share of trouble. As soon as they'd ask a guest to pay his bill, the revolt would start. Every now and then, however, there would also be surprisingly self-critical customers. One such man, Tomasz Trzaskowski, ended up in jail after one particularly stormy evening. He expressed his regret that he'd gotten drunk and swore at a Vilnius teacher, and, even better, declared that if it ever happened again, he should be similarly punished. In Old Vilnius taverns, szynkarkas could continue to take orders until the last customer's eyes closed in a drunken stupor. To postpone that moment for as long as possible, tavern customers would sing, "Give us vodka, the better for us to see."